Hello, students. Quickly, we will summarize the entire life process chapter. Okay. So, life process is the process that helps to maintain the or that is required for the animal for growth and its maintenance. So, what all the process that is required for the growth and maintenance is collectively called as life process. And in your syllabus, they have asked you to study few of the life process like nutrition, transportation, then excretion, okay, so then respiration, okay. Then we have studied each one of the life process in detail. So nutrition, when it comes to the nutrition, we should know what is nutrition, okay. It is nothing but simply, if you want to tell, it is nothing but the food what we consume that gives us the nutrition. Then next you should know what is the importance of this nutrition or why we have to take the food, because from the food we are going to get the nutrients, energy, and also it helps for the cell growth, cell repair, and maintenance of the living being. Next, types of nutrition: autotrophic and heterotrophic. So in the autotrophic, you should know the definition, okay, and example. Then we have studied autotrophic nutrition in plants, okay. So in that, photosynthesis, you should know the definition, you should know steps involved in the photosynthesis and the reaction. Photosynthesis, this reaction you should know. And also you should know the structure of stomata and cross section of the leaf. That is the important diagram you're supposed to study. Next, to experiment to confirm the essential of chlorophyll and carbon dioxide for the photosynthesis we have studied. Next, we studied the nutrition in single cell organisms such as amoeba and paramecium. Next, we studied nutrition in human beings. So in the human beings, as they take the complex food, the human beings contain a separate organ system called digestive system. So next, you should know the diagram of human digestive system or alimentary canal, different parts, then functions of each parts and how the food get digested, you should know. Entire thing you're supposed to study. The diagram also important. Also, this nutrition in human being comes in the heterotrophic type of nutrition. And heterotrophic nutrition is further classified into three types: saprophytic, parasitic, and holozoic. So the human beings belong to the holozoic category of heterotrophic nutrition. So next life process is the respiration. We should know what is respiration. So respiration includes breathing as well as breakdown of breakdown of glucose or nutrition to get the energy. So next you should know what are the different pathway using which the glucose can undergo breakdown to produce energy. So if the glucose breakdown occurs in presence of oxygen, it becomes aerobic respiration. If it is in the absence of oxygen, then anaerobic respiration. If it occurs in lack of oxygen, then it is that type occurs in the muscle cells, okay, that you should know, okay. Next, we have studied the respiratory system, okay, or breathing in the human beings. So the respiratory system diagram you're supposed to learn with different parts and uses of each part. Then you should know how the exchange of gases takes place in the lungs, or in particular in the alveoli. You're supposed to explain. Afterwards, we have studied next life process is the transportation. Okay, transportation in human beings. The food, nutrients, waste materials, gases such as carbon dioxide, oxygen get transported throughout the body. So the transport system composed of blood, lymph, blood vessels, and the heart. So next you should know what is blood, what is its function, what it is composed of. That is plasma and blood cell. So plasma has the water content, certain proteins. Okay. Next, the blood cells like RBC, WBC, and platelets are present. Functions of RBC is carry the oxygen, WBC participate in our immune system, then platelets helps in the blood coagulation. So next we studied about blood vessels. Okay. So three types are there: artery, vein, and capillary. So you should know how to differentiate the artery from vein. Then you should know about the capillary. Then we studied about the lymph. So lymph is nothing but a fluid connective tissue that is actually obtained from the blood itself. And function you should know, it returns the water that is lost from the blood to the circulatory system and helps in the absorption of fat, and also helps in fight against the microorganism. Hence it is involved in the immune system. Then we have studied about the human heart. Okay, so heart is the organ that is required to pump the blood to all the remaining part of our body. Then structure you should know. Then how the blood flows in the heart you're supposed to explain, and also why human shows double circulation, that is also you are supposed to explain. Then we have studied the blood pressure, about the blood pressure. Then we have studied the transportation in plant, so water transportation and food transportation. So what are the mechanism involved in the food transportation? That is they use energy and osmotic pressure is created, from which the food can transported from leaf to the root, and it is bidirectional. Whereas water transport in short plants occur by simple diffusion and osmosis, whereas for the taller plants, transpiration pull is the mechanism for water transport. Then last life process is excretion. So excretion in the plant is in very simple manner, not like human beings. It is not complicated. Okay, so you should know what are the different excretory product the plant produce and how it get excreted. And in human beings, we have separate system called excretory system. So you should know the parts. Then you should know how the kidney produce urine. Then the diagram of nephron you're supposed to study, and also about the artificial kidney. Okay. This is all we have learned in the life process chapter. So if you have any doubts, or if you want me to repeat any particular topic, let me know. Or if you have any confusion or doubts. If you have the questions here, you can see in your textbook. So let's try to answer this. Kidneys in human beings are a part of system for nutrition, respiration, excretion, or transportation. Who can? Okay, excretion. Okay, good. Next, xylem in plants are responsible for
transport of water.
Okay, good. Next, a total mode of nutrition requires
all the above.
Correct. All the above is required. Nothing but that is photosynthesis, isn't it? Next, breakdown of pyruvate to give carbon dioxide water energy takes place in
Mitochondria.
see, this is breakdown of pyruvate to give pyruvate to carbon dioxide water energy takes place in mitochondria. But they ask breakdown of glucose to pyruvate to give energy, then it occurs in the cytoplasm. Here they asked breakdown of pyruvate to energy. Okay. In case it is the glucose to pyruvate, then answer will be A. How fats are digested in our body and where does this process takes place? So digestion, you should remember where exactly the digestion of fat occurs and which enzymes are useful for this. You can answer bile juice, Pavan Kumar said. Okay, correct. Bile juice. There is one more. Okay, bile juice that is secreted by the liver. It is secreted by the liver and where it reaches then into the
Small intestine.
Digestion of small intestine. Okay, liver, there is no digestion. It just secretes and the secretion will be in small intestine. Or in particularly, you can tell it is the duodenum region. So where there exactly the digestion of fat occurs. Then there is one more enzyme involved in the digestion of fat that is secreted from pancreas. Yes, lipase, pancreatic lipase. So you can easily remember. So fats are also called as lipids, correct? So enzyme lipase. So lipase lipids, something like this you can remember. So bile juice that is secreted by the liver and stored in the gallbladder acts on the fat and make them or helps in their emulsification, you can tell. And after this, the pancreatic lipase acts on this emulsified fat and break down into glycerol. Or simply you can write bile and the lipase helps in the digestion of fat. And next you are supposed to write where this takes place. It takes place in the small intestine, or you can write in the duodenum part of small intestine. Next question, what is the role of saliva in digestion of food?
Easy to swallow.
Moistens the mouth and helps compact food soften particles for easier swallowing.
That is correct. Next,
Breaks carbohydrates into glucose.
what exactly the enzyme name present in saliva?
Salivary amylase.
Salivary amylase. Okay. So all the answers are correct. It keeps our mouth moist. Okay. And helps to soften the food. Then also helps in the swallowing. Then last, it contains salivary amylase, thereby helps in the breakdown of carbohydrate to glucose. Next, question number 7. what are the necessary conditions for autotrophic nutrition and what are its byproducts? So nothing but they're asking the raw material for autotrophic nutrition. So you should have carbon dioxide, sunlight, water, chlorophyll, okay? And byproduct of the autotrophic nutrition, nothing but photosynthesis is glucose, then oxygen and water. Next question number 8. What are the difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration? Name the some organism that uses anaerobic mode of respiration. You know the definition? Easily you can write. Aerobic happens in the presence of oxygen, whereas anaerobic, it is the breakdown of glucose in absence of oxygen. Then you should give the examples for anaerobic respiration. So can anyone give the anaerobic respiration example for an organism that utilize the anaerobic respiration?
Yeast.
Oh, yeah, yeast. Next question is, how are the alveoli designed to maximize the exchange of gases? So alveoli are very tiny balloon-like structure, and they are millions in number, and each alveoli is surrounded by blood capillaries. So these blood capillaries help to exchange the gases. So when we inhale the atmospheric air, it contains oxygen. So through pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, it reaches to the alveoli. By the same time, the cell utilizes the energy and produce carbon dioxide and it gives to the blood. This blood also reaches to the blood capillary, especially the vein of alveoli. So from the vein of alveoli, carbon dioxide is given to the alveoli, and within the alveoli you have oxygen that is given back to the blood circulation. So now the blood becomes oxygenated blood. So the oxygenated blood is again circulated to remaining body parts, and now the alveoli contain carbon dioxide. It is exhaled outside. That much you can write. So maximize the exchange because of the presence of capillaries around the alveoli, and also alveoli is in large number, more number it is. So what would be the consequences of deficiency of hemoglobin in our body? Can anyone guess?
It can affect the oxygen supplying capacity.
Who said answer? Oxygen supply in our body. Exactly the correct answer. So first you should know what is hemoglobin or where it is present. So I have told in the blood you have blood cells, that is RBC. RBC contains special pigment called hemoglobin. And I told hemoglobin is the one that carries oxygen. So if you have hemoglobin deficiency, that is lack of hemoglobin in our body, automatically the oxygen carrying capacity will be reduced. Okay, that is the answer. Next question. Describe double circulation in human being and why it is necessary.
To separate oxygenated and deoxygenated.
That is necessary. Human beings cannot tolerate the loss of blood, that is oxygenated, deoxygenated blood should not mix with each other. So that is why you have a double circulation. Then you should explain how it happens. Nothing but you are supposed to explain the flow of blood in the heart. How it happens. Oxygenated blood from the lungs is carried by pulmonary veins to the which part?
Left atrium.
Then to the ventricle.
Ventricle.
Then it goes to the aorta. Then to the remaining body parts. Then here they collect the oxygenated blood from the lower body part, and then they carry this to right, then to the ventricle, then through pulmonary artery, this deoxygenated blood is going back to the lung for gaseous exchange. So this deoxygenated blood enters the alveoli where the exchange takes place. So this you are supposed to write. If you see the diagram and how the blood circulate, you can easily write this. And necessary is that because human being cannot tolerate the mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. The double circulation is very much essential. Question number 12. What are the difference between transport of materials in xylem and phloem?
Xylem tissue helps in the transport of water and minerals. And phloem tissue helps in the transportation of food.
Yes, correct. Then what you can tell? Which transport utilize energy? Food transport utilize energy, isn't it? That point you can mention. Whereas the transport of water, it never utilizes the energy. Only the transport of food. So in the phloem part, you can write this point. And one more I told, direction, water movement direction and food movement direction. So water movement direction is single direction against the gravity or only in the upward direction. Whereas food movement is bidirectional. Food has to reach to the all part. It should go upside as well as downside. So this point also you can include. Next, compare the functioning of alveoli in the lungs and nephrons in the kidney with respect to their structure and functions. Something but they asked you to explain the functions of alveoli and nephron. So both are considered as functional part, isn't it? Alveoli is a functional part in the lungs, nephron is a functional part in the alveoli, kidney. So alveoli is involved in the purification of gases or purification of the blood. Nephron is also involved in the purification of blood, but it removes the nitrogenous waste. In the alveoli, it removes the carbon dioxide and gives the oxygen. So both the organs involved in the purification, but you should know what the components get purified here. One is the carbon dioxide to oxygen, and here the nitrogenous wastes are get removed. So if you write that much, it's enough. This questions already textbook. Next, I'll give you of the question. So like you should draw the diagram. Okay. So I'll give the questions. For that diagram, you are supposed to draw. Then take the picture and upload it in a Google Classroom. So the Google Classroom, when you open, you can see the respective question. So that respective answers you're supposed to upload there. Okay, once you open, it is very easy. So whatever the drawing I ask, you should draw on a paper, then take the photo and then upload. So tomorrow evening, maybe by 8 p.m. or 7 p.m, you can submit this. So till that much time you have given. Questions, I'll send it in the Google Classroom itself. You know, right, how to use the Google Classroom? There will be question. Look at the question and draw the respective diagram and upload. Okay. This task you should finish by tomorrow, 8 p.m. Okay. So ಹೇಗುಂಟು ಈ chapter? Easy ಉಂಟಾ? Bit lengthy, but if you understood the concept and study, you will never forget. Unmute ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಇದೆ ಈ chapter ಅಂತ. Very important chapter ಇದು. Time when you send the question, 1-2 ಗಂಟೆ ಒಳಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೇನೆ, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇವತ್ತು 2 ಗಂಟೆ ಒಳಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಸೊ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಸೊ ಬೈ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ, ಆದಷ್ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಲೀರಿ. ಓಕೆ, so tomorrow you'll have physics session. Okay, anyway, sir will inform in the WhatsApp group. Okay, bye everyone, take care.